get from your insurance company is what they conclude is the fair market value of your property up to the amount of the limits. So they're only going to give you up to your limits. If you got $1 million policy, it's $1 million. That's all they're going to give you. It could have been worth $2 million before the fire. But if your house, according to what the fair market value was much more than what your limits are, you're not going to get it. So if you sell your house, all you're going to get for it, or your lot, is the value of the lot. Now, true enough, you'll still own the lot, and you'll have your insurance money. You can take your insurance money and you can go and buy another property if you got enough and you don't have a mortgage, which is going to take it, of course. They have a priority to whatever the insurance proceeds are. But the issue of whether or not to sell your lot is one you should consider, not only in connection with what insurance you can get, which is, of course, one issue, but the other issue is, I'm not arguing for this, I'm just saying that if there is a lawsuit against Southern California Edison, that's where your lawsuit would be important to you, because you can recover in your lawsuit, if you're successful, all of what you lost, the fair market value of your house, plus, under certain circumstances, the replacement cost. So your house may have only been worth $1 million, but to rebuild that house, it is likely it would cost $1.5 million today. Even though it was only worth $1 million on the fair market value, all the other houses are worth that. To rebuild that house next to all your neighbors could cost you $1.5 million or $2 million to rebuild it. That is what you would be suing for if you were to file a lawsuit. So the issue of what to do, and I've heard this from several of my clients now, should we just sell, take the money, deal with a mortgage company, try and get them to substitute the mortgage for the mortgage here so you get your money and you can go and buy another house. It's not going to be as much. You still got your lot. Then maybe in a few years you move back and you decide to build. All those issues come up, but they can't be isolated in the abstract. They all depend on how much your insurance company is willing to pay you, which I can tell you is not going to exceed whatever your insurance limits are, assuming you can get them to pay you all the limits, which is rare, but sometimes they do, or whether you want to take your chances and get your non-economic losses, that is, your lost property, your personal property, your real property. Those things you have to sue if you want to get them, if it's worth it. And it's not easy. Litigation's horrible. I don't recommend it to anybody, but that's your option to get your non-insured losses, in addition to your non-insured, non-property losses, which are what I call the going through it expense. You're going through it emotionally.
I'm sure the cost of building it has gone up, and you kept the same policy or level premium, and now you don't have enough money to really do what you have to do. Take it.
I don't specialize in malpractice, but there is a theory that if you had insurance and your insurance adjuster, your insurance representative, your broker, depending on whether it's your broker, friend who acts as your broker, or whether it's really the insurance agent, not yours, but the company's agent. So it depends on whether it's your agent or a separate agent. If they didn't advise you every year that your insurance is not enough to cover you in the event your house burns down, there is an argument that you could sue them for errors and omissions for their failure to have advised you. Some policies even say in it that there will be an automatic increase every year by the insurance company automatically to take your insurance up to a higher level to reflect the increased cost. Some companies have it, some don't. Some have it and don't honor it. Some brokers tell you to do it every year. Most of them don't. So there is a possible claim against your insurance broker if he was your own agent, or possibly against the insurance company itself if they were the agent that told you that you should have had more insurance than you have. It's not a slam dunk, doesn't always win, but there are lawyers that are called coverage lawyers that sue brokers and sue insurance companies for what's called bad faith litigation, and that is a remedy if that.
My agent said that the septic would count as an extra structure, and so would the irrigation. But my adjuster said, nah, I don't think so. We don't do that at Allstate. So I want to know, would that be something that I can kind of fight for?
Yeah. And Allstate told her that she could use the cost of the septic as part of her other structures, because your policy has an A and a B and a C. You got your main structure, which is your house, and it says other structures. It could be anything from sheds to barns. And apparently Allstate agent told her that would count as an other structure, the septic. When the adjuster came out from Allstate, I presume, which doesn't surprise me, and the adjuster says, I disagree. Now, the adjuster either doesn't know what he's talking about, depending on what the company's rules are, or the agent doesn't know what she's talking about, either one. So the answer to your question is, you won't be able to sort that out yourself. I'm sorry to say, you will not be able to sort that out. You got the insurance company telling you one thing. You got the adjuster, who's the one that's going to approve it, telling you something different. The only way you're going to sort this out is to have somebody else who knows what they're doing find out for you.
That would be called a lawyer.
That would either to be called a public adjuster or to call a lawyer. And one of the
Or
two
you
of
can
them.
ask for you can ask to get kickbacks.
People, lawyers, pro bono, volunteering their time to help, and they supposedly have insurance information. They may be able to answer that question. You might find an intern there at Pepperdine Law Student who's willing to call and get to the bottom of it. That's a pro bono outfit that's at Pepperdine, and I urge people to consider it. I know nothing about it other than what I heard a couple of weeks ago. But you need someone to get to the bottom of it.
Sue an insurance company because you feel you're not doing well with an adjuster or a public adjuster. Ask them if this is a per hour fee, or ask them if this is a contingency situation. If the people tell you it's a per hour fee, you know what the fee is. If the people tell them it's a contingency situation, make sure that you understand the contingency price prior to litigation, like they write letters and you settle, and then the contingency price after litigation. Make sure you also understand at what stage litigation actually starts. Does it start when you file the lawsuit? Does it start when you do discovery? Or does it start when you actually go to trial? So I wanted to share this with everybody. I'm not pushing a particular company. I didn't mention any companies or anything, but these are questions that
This is about personal property. The line on your declaration page that says personal property. And Doug Jones sent a note
Doug Jones is
to
the insurance commissioner of the state of California.
sent a note to all the insurance companies stating that he believed that he would like them all, recommending, it was sort of strong language, that they give insureds 75% of their personal property line with no inventory. Just make that award.
For total loss.
This is for people with total loss. Subsequent to that particular note, 4 insurance companies have awarded their insureds 100% of their loss of personal property when there was a total loss. And those insurance companies, I think are Allstate, Farmers, Lloyd's, and what's the other one? Something four initials. USAA.
I think.
So
Ours hasn't, right?
ours, which is Travelers, I'm sure the rest of you who are Travelers have, insured by Travelers, have received 50% of personal property. That came very early, but they. So we have contacted our adjuster at Travelers and expressed our disappointment with Travelers that they are not paying attention to what the commissioner in California is asking, and we're trying to escalate that up the chain to people who can make a difference, because the adjuster can't decide that, and I would recommend others do the same.
First of all, they give you a 40-page list of everything that you forgot you ever had that will remind you that you had. And then they have ways of valuing each of these components, and they go on eBay, they go here, there, the other. So that's what a public adjuster does. They charge you a percentage of what they get. The law firms, at least some of them, the ones I know, they will have somebody within their law firm who does the same thing as a public adjuster. They will take all of your claim things that you remember. They will give you a list of 20 to 30 pages of things that you probably forgot. They will have somebody sit down with you individually. They will go through every room of your house. They will look at your pictures. They will help you determine what you had in your house and what the value of that was, because they have to do that to represent you in the lawsuit. So it's not like they're giving you free anything. It's what they would do in order to prove your case against Edison in the event you turn out to be the 90% that don't have adequate insurance. Almost everybody has inadequate insurance unless you have a super policy or a Lloyd's policy or something like that. Most people are underinsured. 80% are underinsured, or 90%. So if you go with any law firm that's a reputable law firm, they will have adjusters that they consult with or that are within their firm. They do not charge you for that service. They charge the law firm, and the law firm pays for that service. But it's a service, just to be clear, they're not giving it away. They will have to do that for you in the event of your lawsuit anyway, but they will provide you the same service that was just discussed, because going through and proving the value of everything in your house, remembering everything, without receipts, without pictures, very difficult. But that's what the law firm will do with people that they will hire to do it for you. So it's a
Anybody
formidable
have any
task.